Welcome back to Broken Bobby's Transformation Page. If you are new to the page, in 1990 I became involved in the drug gang world. From 92 to '06, I spent a lot of time incarcerated. I tell these stories to let you know it don't have to be you. If you're young and thinking about trying something or you're figuring out how to get out, these are my stories of this lifestyle and how it affected me, and eventually I got out and transformed my life. So let's get into today's story. On January 6th at approximately 11:40 a.m., Salinas Valley A yard. I'm assuming this is the SNY yard at Salinas Valley. They found this guy, Son Tran, 53 years old, unresponsive in a cell. He came from Orange County. He's been incarcerated since 1999. He's serving a 15 to life on these charges. Take a second to read them. YouTube don't like me talking about these sort of things, but pretty disgusting stuff if you ask me. And the reason I'm assuming it's the SNY yard is this guy's been in custody going on 25 years. How he was able to maneuver for that long, I don't know. I'm assuming it's an SNY thing, and I'm assuming that he finally got the right celly, if you know what I mean. So this guy here is the assumed aggressor, John Lydon, 50 years old, originally sentenced to 25 to life out of LA County. He's been incarcerated since 2001. Now, this guy's got quite a record, as you can see here. He has 2 incarcerated 187s on his jacket already. So this is not his first time. He has a long and violent history, and this is kind of what I'm talking about. Like I said, I'm assuming this is an SNY yard because I can't see that guy skating for that long with those sort of charges. There's certain things that just aren't tolerated. It appears on either side. And, he may have had cellies previously that just wanted to do their time and go home. But there's some people that stand on principles, and the type of charges that you read there earlier, doing things like that to women or children, some people just aren't going to live with that stuff. And, I've told you guys before, I consider myself to be a civilian now, but civilian, active, whatever, those charges are unacceptable. And, that this is what ends up happening. So at 11:40 a.m., he was found unresponsive in the cell. He was pronounced deceased at 12:17 a.m. The article didn't say anything in regards to any weapons being found, but there's many ways to unalive a person in a cell. Living in a cell can be a very dangerous place. Personally, I preferred the cell living as long as you get to know your celly, and when you've got a solid one, you're golden. One thing about living in a cell, though, is you assume a lot of responsibility for the celly that you're living with. If you're choosing to live with this person, then you've checked paperwork and you understand that they have righteous charges by the convict code. That's one of the downfalls to cell living is if, say, you're on a lockdown or something and you get a celly with bad charges, you're going to get that kite saying to handle that. Now on the SNY side, I'm not sure how that stuff works, but I will say this. there are a lot of people on that SNY side that put in a lot of work on the main line. And just because they went over there, don't make them any less of a killer. I'll say that. Now, whether you agree with them locking it up and going to that side is another story entirely. But, you can take the killer off the main line, but, they're still who they are. And they still have the same capabilities, and they're still going to, to a certain extent, live by the same code of that you're not going to live with trash. And so, anyways, Mr. Leiden was removed and put into restrictive housing, as they're calling it now, which basically is ADSEG. And the case was referred to the Monterey County District Attorney's Office, where more than likely they're going to bring him up on charges. I mean, the dude's he had 25 to life originally. He picked up 2 more life sentences while incarcerated. So think about it. What does he have to lose at this point? I mean, he's got 2 lives plus 25 to life. He's already been in there for 23 years. He was sentenced out of LA County in 2001. So, at this point, there's no hope. And when there's no hope, anything is possible. So, this is one of those stories where the main reason I tell it is, if you are using, and most of the people that end up in there are, you could go in on a 16-month sentence and end up with the celly, with those bad charges, with bad paperwork, or just being politicked on, and be put into a situation where you have to take action, and now you're never coming home. One thing I do want to point out, if you look at the picture of Mr. Leiden, which I'll put up here again, look at those eyes. You see that in certain individuals, especially in prison, and you can see that, like, he's done. Like, there will be no hesitation in these types of actions. Like, it looks like he's already checked out. Now, there could be some substances involved too, which there's plenty of that in there. So, the best advice I could offer is don't do things that are going to potentially put you into these places, because once you're there, you are going to do the time and you are going to get with the program. I mean, you can always roll it up and go over to the other side, to the SNY side, but, it's not any better over there. I mean, people aren't so much telling you what to do, but there's gangs on that side too, and they will recruit heavy. So, I mean, you drop out of one side to get away from the gang activity, and you go over to the other side, and there's just as much, if not more. And it's a lot looser on that side, from what I understand, because, there isn't the structure, there isn't the leadership of people calling shots and getting approval to do these sort of things. So, like I always say, family, fitness, and freedom are what set me free, and they can set you free as well. Just remember, it's making good choices and compounding those good choices rather than making bad decisions and compounding them. So, if you like these sort of stories, subscribe to the channel, smash that like button, drop a comment and tell me what you think. Did Mr. Tran get what he deserved? Or, let me know. Let me know in the comments. Also, share this video. It helps the channel to grow, and we're pushing towards 500 subs. I appreciate everybody that's subscribed already, and like I said, if you haven't subscribed yet, you're missing out. So, like I always say, don't look at the mountain, just start climbing.